Hey, World Entertainment, and Daredevil Born Again, of course, came and went with basically no fanfare. But picture this: you get the job of a lifetime. You're tasked with bringing back a fan favorite character, one that's known for a very specific tone, a gritty world, and a beloved supporting cast. We all know who that is. Then your new boss hits you with a shocker. What's that shocker? Well, it's this. Whatever you do, don't watch the show that made this character a global sensation. Yep, that's right. Marvel did it again. We know that they love telling the people working on the movies, whatever you do, don't read the comic books. Well, it's happened again because Daredevil Born Again, all the editors and people working on it were told, don't watch the Netflix series. Yep, one of their editors has come out to say, yeah, we were told don't watch it. Until the overhaul happened, and then, not from the directive of Kevin Feige and stuff, but themselves decided, yes, screw it, let's actually watch it and see exactly what we need to do. So let's take a look at this article that talks about this and shows you what this person says. And it's just like, why do you keep doing it? Why take these characters that everybody knows and loves and go, rather than actually look at the source material to figure out how this character works, we're going to tell you, ignore all of that and make crap up. So this is what we get here. We already knew that Daredevil Born Again was shaping up to be a very different show prior to the much discussed creative overhaul, but it sounds like original showrunners Matt Corman and Chad Ord, and likely some studio higher-ups, we're more determined to distance the Disney Plus revival from its Netflix predecessor than we realise. While speaking to Awards Radar, editor Stephanie Filo revealed that she and others who worked on the show were told not to watch Netflix's Daredevil. This is what she said. The original take on it was to lean away from the Netflix Daredevil show. They actually told us not to watch the Netflix show because they didn't want to affect how we were editing it. Once we restructured everything and figured out we would do a different take on it, we dove back into the Netflix side of things. We were able to use temp music from the Netflix series and get back to the darker vibe. So right there, it's like Disney wanted us to do this version, which we all know was meant to be the super bright, happy, comical version. Then they went, this isn't working, we're going back to the drawing board. And what did the editors and the creators and people working on the show do? They went, nuts to this, we need to actually watch and check out the Netflix version so we can understand what the hell it is we're doing. So it's saying, this tracks well with what we've heard about Born Again before it was reworked, as the show was said to be much lighter in tone and more comedic. For example, the divisive bank heist episode with the eye-rolling Miss Marvel nods was reportedly the only episode that wasn't changed at all prior to the Hollywood strikes. Editor Cedric Nainer Smith, I have no idea how you pronounce that second part, added that once the series was overhauled, it was decided to lean into the central theme of how Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk's stories paralleled each other, saying, sometimes we would iterate these episodes and would be asked at times to intercut these scenes. We thought intercuts would not work because they weren't intended to be intercut. However, once we started intercutting, we found out that there were common threads here. It felt like it was a happy accident that these intercuts worked, and that you would find these connections. A lot of it was trial and error trying to find those threads, but some of it was also planned. Right there, that's not a statement you want to hear from someone working on the bloody thing, saying, oh yeah, look, we were doing it for the sake of doing it. It was trial and error. It's like, sometimes it worked, sometimes it did. And it's like, you kept doing that process though, from start to finish. From episode 1 to episode 8, you kept doing this idea that you knew wasn't working all that great. So It's saying, though the show certainly had its share of detractors, Daredevil Born Again was a big hit with critics. 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. Blah, blah, blah. What difference does that make? It was big hit with critics. It didn't chart on the Nielsen. Like, it even says here, we recently learned that Daredevil Born Again has become the first live-action Marvel Studio series not to make the Nielsen top 10. In fact, it came in somewhere like 92nd in the Nielsen charts. That's how bad it did. And now we know exactly why, once again, this thing failed. Not just because they hadn't a clue what they were actually doing. The fact that, oh, we'll make it this big comedy type thing. Oh, wait, no, we better reshoot the entire thing and blah, blah, blah. No, they're once again coming out to say, oh yeah, we were told, don't do research. Don't read the comment. Don't watch the original series. What a brain dead idea. Why would you keep doing that? There's a reason these characters, and in particular, the iterations of them you saw in live action and stuff, were loved. There's a reason the Netflix series was beloved by so many, and everyone was raging when it got cancelled on Netflix, which, by the way, was thanks to Kevin Feige and Disney. But the fact that here's this character, here's the reason people love it, here's the take you need to do, and they went, don't look at that, ignore that, that's not what we're going to do. And then when crap hit the fan, they went, I think we need to actually go back and kind of look at that and maybe use it. It's a brain dead structure that Marvel are using with these characters. The fact that they have source material, they have a go-to to figure out these characters, and they ignore it is ridiculous, and it's why they keep failing, and it's why they will continue to fail. So, with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.